enemy team make these mistakes because you're putting them in these weird kind of positions. So yeah, it was a really good game. Hopefully we have something very similar, because that one really did feel like it could go either way at any moment.
Did you have any holes that you wanted to poke in either of the drafts, or were you pretty satisfied even after seeing the end result? It just ultimately came down to who had buybacks, some initiation, vision kind of things. It wasn't really the heroes' fault.
No, I mean, it didn't really feel entirely because of the heroes. I feel, I actually agree with a lot what the cost was saying. I think it was like tough for OG to make that early game work with their Shaker and Magnus supports, but they did make it work, and they ended up, you know, taking some really big heads-up fights because of them making that early game actually enabled the Sven, because I thought the Sven was actually going to be below the Tower Blade on net worth, but he was visibly ahead of him throughout the entirety of the game.
It's also because of the important game, and this of cutting them back, man.
And they give up the Tiny. The OG actually takes the Tiny this time, because it was left in the pool, same like similar kind of bans, right? Nigma did the Void Spirit Invoker, and this is something they really rely on a lot of the times. They're very, very strong with it, especially when Topson is playing it.
Topson Tiny, he was actually playing Tiny versus Team Nigma in the first series 3 days ago, in which he was versus Wind Ranger, and he dominated. That was pretty sick. Like you said, good combo with Phoenix. What I do like about Team Nigma is these buffs, man. Empower, Vengeful Wave of Terror, Vengeful Aura, Vengeful Swap. You're already setting the stage up for a miracle god carry. Like this is
it a ranged carry or a melee carry though? Because both Venge and Magnus seem to be like on opposite ends of the buffing spectrum here. You all want to give bonus range, or you want to give the cleave?
I think it's still the damage that you can provide. I think you have to. I think you'd likely see the Medusa as probably the biggest ban that they're going to take out, because it's also very strong versus the Tiny versus Phoenix. Like, you don't care, you hold your ground, right? If you get, the only thing the Tiny can do is like toss you out of position, which is pretty big. But for the most part, these two heroes don't frustrate you too much. So I would be pretty surprised if OG doesn't at least take out the Medusa. Arc Warden, I think that's something they probably can deal with, because we've seen teams just run at it, but might be something they also want to consider taking out.
I think Arc Warden still is a really good hero, really good pick, but it might not be first phase as it used to be. It's been figured out when it comes to how you play against it. Medusa and Vengeful, however, I don't think that combo, I don't think you can figure that out even. I don't think you can draft so well to win against it, because it's an extremely good combination of heroes right now.
Interesting.
OG playing it straight here, banning out the Queen of Pain instead.
Yeah.
Now, for what it's worth, if they do ban out those range carries, I mean, Miracle will be more than happy to play something like a Juggernaut, which is also very good against the Phoenix Egg, in theory. So, which pairing there's going to be with these buffs, they are going to be able to answer the problem of the Supernova.
Remember OG's faces after that game. They were not satisfied. They were not happy. And they switched things up when it comes to the bans. If you look at it, now they moved back into that last series versus Nigma, and the bans are the same. Just ban out Batrider, Queen of Pain, Viper, and obviously Wisp.
Yeah, they want Topson to have a good lane. That's really what it feels like. And that's why I'm thinking this Tiny is 100% mid, looking at those bans, right? The Viper, the Quap. That is, they're trying to give Topson that matchup that he can just explode on, get ahead, and just start making super aggressive plays. So I think they can definitely save for some type of super carry still in this game onto mid one, because Topson is playing that Tiny for space making.
Nigma's bans, on the other hand, Bloodseeker, which OG didn't have the biggest success with, but still, really, it was originated from Seb, and the Beastmaster as well. So targeting the off lane here.
And it would be a pretty sick combo, right? When you have Phoenix, Bloodright isn't that great. But when you have Tiny, Phoenix, and Bloodseeker, that becomes scary, because from the mid lane you get this disabling hero that's able to prevent anyone from hitting the egg, while there's just a Bloodseeker blood raging everyone, using that Bloodright for what, 450 pure damage later on at Veil. It's really strong, and there's a reason why it's valued so much.
The other thing I look at too is a Bloodseeker. For me, when I look at it, is like he's this for Protect 1 that he just ruptures your carry, and it makes it really difficult, right? You're struggling to actually be able to get out there, because he's always going to target your hard carry, and he's that kind of preventative hero. So
We did see it yesterday as well versus AM, right? So it was very similar. Monkey King, though, I'm not the biggest fan. Obviously, the hero has been buffed just a little bit above the strike stun duration. But yesterday we saw it. It didn't do too well unless RNG was completely on his side.
Troll Warlord matchup, yeah.
Yeah.
And this means that most likely Tiny will be position 4, right?
Yeah.
Or how are we seeing this? This monkey should be mid, but played by Thompson, or are they just OGing us all? And
maybe
that's what we've been leaving the opening for, that kind of flex potential, but it always ends up being Thompson, even if it's not that great of a matchup, even if it's not melee versus melee. He seems to always fall back on the Monkey King.
I feel like they're setting up for that Arc Warden. I see this Rubik, I see this Venge, right? They ran these aggro tri-lanes with Venge, Rubik, and Arc Warden several times in this one. So let's see how respond. Oh my god, okay, is that a Seb Treant?
I would guess so.
And then they have Phoenix as their 5, Tiny as their 4.
They don't really roll Phoenix as 3 that much like some other teams, right? So, but they do have the amazing combo. This team fight is really strong. You have obviously Wukong's command, you have growth, you have Phoenix Egg, all followed up by some burst or initiation by Tiny. The team fight on the side of OG is
these heroes like the Medusa and Arc Warden, you just leap on them from the trees. And even in the mid matchup, I've seen the Monkey King versus, if it is, let's say, if it's a Medusa mid or something like that, I've seen the Monkey Kings beat the Medusa majority of the times.
I have as well.
Even though it's been changed, I think maybe now even for the better, because you have more armor in the laning phase too, because that was the other change that got Monkey King. He's up to 6 armor at level 1, which is actually quite high. Let's see which one for, or if they just go for one of their other heroes, one of the other lanes, at least in particular, from my control.
Not something like a Terrorblade. Forget for him. No, they go with
the Weefa hero. Okay.
So is this Timbersaw just gonna around this what is likely a core Treant protector, or are you just gonna park him mid no matter what?
I think you want to lane it versus you want it on the side lane.
Okay.
I think at least because whatever you put, unless Monkey is on the side lane, you're playing versus 2 strength heroes. When you look at them, right? You have Treant, you have Phoenix, you have Tiny. You will have that very solid laning state. Timber can just demolish a Treant protector in the lane. So,
but it's got to be Weeha though, right? Like they always play it on Weeha.
Yeah,
it'll be Weeha, but I mean,
Weeha just the side lane. Yeah. Then they can last at the mid lane.
It seems like Nigma are still suspecting the a Seb hero maybe on the horizon. They ban out the Necrophos.
They want to be able to get this Timbersaw in a good lane. He doesn't want a lane versus just gives you kill threat in mid game.
What about Tiny mid and position 1 Monkey? Is that doable? What do you think? Is it possible? Even?
This is possible, but then they just put the Timber mid, right? And then Tiny just suffers so hard. I saw this matchup so many times at this tournament.
I'm just trying to think about their thought process before the Timber pick, right? Before that, the Timber does change things up a little bit. It's one of those, this is what I mean when I say that they force you to react to their Vipers, with their Bats, with their Timber Saws. We bring so much to the team. He suffers a lot, he dies a lot, he feeds a lot sometimes, yeah, but he forces the enemy team to react to his picks.
They don't have damage, like they really don't have damage for this Timber right now early on, no. The combo from the Tiny is pretty much that's it, and then a Sunray. So
Sunray is kind of fine, but
in the mid game though, in the laning, right? Like he's gonna be able to take over pretty early on if he does get a good matchup.
Back when it was, when it wasn't magical, I think it was a bit stronger, but now like
this is a lot of protection. Make sure that Weeha pops off this game, which is fine. I guess they. That whichever hero Miracle picks, which will end up being the Slark, so a melee laner takes advantage of the Empower.
Yeah, didn't opt to go for their Deucer Arc Warden. I guess they wanted to go for something that can play around the Overgrowth, something that can always break the disables and get on top of that egg.
If it is,
and he's got the double buffs too, so.
If it is the Treant on the offlane with the Phoenix or with the Tiny, I think this is a really solid lane for a Slark. Like you like to get those essence shifts away from them, so you don't chew right through them.
Yeah, the 3 strength, right? The Phoenix, the Tiny, and this Treant. They have a lot of stat steal. At least I look at, right, Timbersaw plus Slark. They just can really beat on these here.
With the team fights now, you have Dark Pack to get out of that, so it's kind of, it's also pretty good for them. But the last time I've seen Slark do well is V-Tune, right? Like in the division, hero doesn't look on the same level like your TBs, your Svens.
Themselves on is beating people faster than they can bring their carries online. Slark's going to come online much sooner, especially when you got the cleave to farm with from the Magnus.
It's tricky because we're not. I'm just not certain where the matchups are going to go.
I'm just watching the webcams now. Mid one.
Mid one. He doesn't know what's happening as well.
He's like, wait, what am I playing?
Stuff's like, I don't know yet.
Yeah, there we go. That's the smile.
He's got the. They're big brain. They're trying to think of something here.
They are one game. And there you go. Your favorite.
Hell yeah! Give me a carry ET.
Is that realistic?
I think it's probably a Seb ET.
Seb ET. Yeah.
Monkey King safe.
Okay.
Tiny mid.
As we see the odds 1.91 to 1.85. Who needs to dodge who? Here's the better question. This Timbersaw seems to be the one who's dictate where everyone else goes, right?
Slark wants to dodge ET.
Okay, Slark wants to dodge ET. Monkey King, is he okay with Timber?
Yeah, Monkey is okay, but everyone else isn't.
Yeah.
I think the main was really just Slark wants to be avoiding the CT. Because that's going to be Seb playing it. I'm be positive of it. Works really well if it is a tiny mid. And then the Monkey King safe lane. So yeah, I think mid one's going to be playing this Monkey King, yeah.
I think lanes will decide quite a lot how they manage to set them up on both sides, and then the team fights later on are sick again. You have the Treant, you have the ET, you have the Phoenix, Wukong's command for OG. Yeah. On the other hand, I don't think it's as strong. You have the RP, and you do have the Rubik, but that's pretty much it. So Team Nigma, they need to focus on these small skirmishes, pick-offs. You can't just... unless their lanes... Lovely team, man.
There's multiple reasons I'll say why. It's a combo breaker versus Magnus. I've seen it a lot of times when you are playing versus... really good for the whole game. You're able to always just trade with him.
Not so much versus the Timbersaw, though.
Not so much versus Timber, yeah. I think that's the matchup that they're probably going to be looking to put that... Timber's going to try to lane either versus ET or versus the Tiny, which should be pretty good for Team Nigma.
Well, let's see if Kuro had to sacrifice... to change the outcome to 9, or is this just a fill? Game number 2.
He picks from top tier team to top tier team. So Puppy going into this is actually spamming a lot of Treant Protector in his pubs. Next thing you know, we've got Nigma versus OG, the matchup they had before where, yeah, OG did manage to 2-0 them pretty easily. Nigma were the ones to draft the Treant Protector, and now in the lower bracket final, game 2, OG is going to pick up Treant Protector for the first time in this tournament.
Yeah, and it is going to be a position 5. We've seen the 3 position. It helps that it's this flexible pick. ET as well. Seb playing this hero makes it a lot easier to work it into a draft. The old tree cut tactic.
Cutting through the trees together. Blade for Armin, Quelling Blade for Miracle, and GH lurking on the side here. They are going to be playing the... making his way across the map here. Is that a Saksa?
It looks like it. I think they're going to swap the lanes. They're going to have they're going to have No Tail go bot.
Yeah. I was about to say, I was like, that's a little weird. Surely it's a core Elder Titan, as we've seen.
Wait, Seb is up here.
We've seen, yeah. So aren't they swapping lanes like you were talking about?
But No Tail's staying up here. So I was thinking it was No Tail swapping because the trees have been cut, but now they want the ET versus Slark matchup, but they're also swapping on Nigma.
Yep.
It looks like, okay, they're just making sure they want to see mind control is mid on Magnus. Okay, this is a wild game already.
They have to leave a support in lane when they were experience.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you have to collect the experience. That's why Sox is currently bottom lane.
GH TP'd bot too.
He's one of the best heroes to do. And look at this snipe of the courier. Mid one. All right, as we're going to go round and round and round, I might as well make good use of this this time. Snipe out a courier.
It's always funny to see how people use this running back and forth between the lanes. So, okay, Seb, here's as well as Seb, this 2-4 lane.
Run down Armet here. Missile gives him a little bit of time. Mid one shows up. All of a sudden, okay, hold up. This is where the Timbersaw wants to be anymore. He gets the fairy fire. He's okay for now. A timber chain. There's a tree right there. Oh, he cut it with the quelling blade. Thompson read his moves exactly, and Weehaw will have to give up on the chase. What a sick move.
I can't believe it. He had no expression on his face when he did. He just was gonna work.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a.
Uh-oh. Flange. That's always a problem for the timber saw. Constant stuns make the timber chain a little worse. I'm gonna see back into that when they were going on mind control and then dove the Rubik afterwards. This is that first kill. And just get that back. I think we're gonna have a lot of that. Flashing back and forth between kills missed and kills currently happening because just something about OG Nigma, man. There's kills all over the map.
Mid one's actually an Aghanim Scepter.
Really? Okay.
Radiant's
That
bottom
is
tower is
fascinating.
fading fast.
They're trying to defend the tower here. That's
Yeah.
all Nick was trying to doing.
Yeah, if they finish off this creep, then the siege wagon will start getting banged on by the tower. And they will keep that safe lane tower alive, though. Still, OG, they are still holding that top 2 net worth position. Seb may be a little bit under-farmed because of the half the supporting work he's been doing, but paid out dividends. With 2 very, very farm cores, as Thompson's going to be able to go in and get the kill on mind control.
Radiant's middle tower
And-
is losing its foundation.
Mid one was even cutting in to make sure they actually, man, the freedom with which OG moves around the map, you know?
It is something to behold. Let's just say that. They do not care about roles. Roles do not matter when you are OG.
Miracle just needs a little bit more experience. Just give me 2 creeps. That's all I want. All I want is my level 6. DH wants is goddamn.
Wait,
Yeah, the tree got cut down and dying there. Back over to the skewer play that does manage to kill mid one. The tree got cut down.
yeah, that was interesting. The lift that did that, or some very weird interactions happening with this Monkey King jump right now. And then Miracle dies on the top lane. I think this is the more important kill that we've seen happen. Like, he's kind of the saving grace for Nigma right now.
Dire's middle tower is learning to fear.
Like, it's pushing in, right? You've got your level 6 that's pushing in, but the reason he died in the first place is he was just trying to hold that experience range, trying to stay close enough to get his ultimate so he can heal back up. He's got it now, though. 10-minute power runes. That's what we're going to be playing here. Thompson does manage to pick up the arcane rune, turns around, tosses onto the 3. Really good damage.
Top tower is under attack.
G8. Well, 6 does manage to get the steal here. No tail. He's dying. Supernova inside of the pit. Back away from Seb, who's going to be pulled back in by the shockwave, and a secondary kill here for Nigma. Tim. Okay, a little awkward here. He's going to try and get to the other side of this Roshan pit if he can, but the toss is going to keep him inside. So another round of timber chains up in a second here, but then there goes the avalanche. Thompson. Every single move that Weehaw tries to make is just immediately countered. Miracle is going to try and play inside of this one. They have the telekinesis. He does manage to get off the stick charges and gets off the kill onto RMN. It does up him to an unstoppable kill streak, which is what Miracle claimed there for 450 gold.
Thompson's a maniac, man, just walking up that high ground. You know he smells blood in the water.
Trying to catch him. The stolen avalanche kind of interrupts, and they will manage to get that kill even if the Rubik dies here, but no tail. Stuck in a corner. One nerve splitter, though. It's going to be able to nail a couple of heroes here. Brings mind control really low, and I think Seb's just going to be able to man up and kill him. Unless the magic missile, they get the counter double kill for mind control as he stays alive. Uh-oh. Is he gonna stay alive?
I foresee the
No boundless strike.
tower falling short.
I don't think there's any vision there for mid one, but
Yeah, you're not wrong as you think you are, my friends. These rotations are constantly coming in. He still only has 2 levels of reactive armor.
I remember really early on into the tournament. Oh, this just does not end.
No, it really doesn't, but GH can defend himself. Kinesis and Boundless Strike. Diving this man may be a bad idea. But Thompson's still going to try. Or at least he's going to see if GH walk up into the high ground to him.
Dire structures are
Almost have the blink on Thompson. That's going to be huge this game. He's so high level and high net worth that his combo does an insane amount of damage. Like, he can one-hit all of these heroes on Nigma if they're not careful.
They see him. They see mid one. We've got the slug on the high ground here. Seb, you got to be careful of this guy. He is kind of scary to fight into right now. Miracle just gets a couple of hits before he jumps away. The Boundless Strike, these long range beginning to catch, but the counter Boundless Strike stops Thompson from being able to get up.
Just to give you an idea of how fast OG are playing in it, Thompson is like 100 gold away from his blink. I think he's probably sending it out on the courier right now. And they still chose to smoke there. Like, he's 50 gold, right? And they could just, all right, guys, let me hit neutrals for just a few seconds. No, they want to just immediately smoke and run into the high ground, baiting mid one there. Like, there is no downtime with this team. These guys are on fire right now.
They really are. Just moving. Time it's right to fight. Then the time is right. Doesn't matter about the items. That seems to be a philosophy. He's going to be swapped back into the magic missile stun. That wasn't quite enough to get the kill, but RMN, oh, the Spirit is going to run him down. Spirit on Spirit action. With the kill on RMN after they attempted to gank him.
I think Thompson should have his blink then. It's a lot more, these fights a lot easier to actually get some.
To run back in. Killing GH, now Thompson. Okay, the same. With the Supernova, this is going to be a really nice combo. Miracle. It gets off the RP, the last explodes. They still hold this area. You know, spells are capped. Nigma, they still manage to get the blink dagger, jump on it. Miracle, so he dies as well. Thompson with the triple. He just does not stop. This man is a monster.
And man, the thing with OG as a team is that when they are at a disadvantage, we see them play like this. And with the 48 goal, and I'm scared for Nigma. I don't know.
They want to be able to hold this tower. They're willing to do everything they can to be able to keep it out. That Nature Scraps is out, slowing down No Tail. But everyone of OG is still, well, most of them are still playing around this area. And in fact, we're going to see him cut in soon. Weeha's been taking a little time to recover his game. Is now going to be joining in this fight. They do. Thompson jump in for mid one, though. Nails a really good Boundless Strike. They immediately skewer him outside of his ultimate, though. The Wukong command is out, but Thompson's going to have a fresh combo. Soon got tossed up. The Avalanche coming up a second. AC a little bit low. Looks to be able to finish him off. Blinks ahead of him. You could see he was trying to get the extra mind control and tossing him back. Doesn't quite still though. OG 6,000.
Dude, No Tail looks like No Tail.
Yeah,
the
dude.
face, like just the killer instinct
He's
face.
so serious.
I'm legitimately terrified. I'm very afraid right now just seeing him. Please don't put that on there again.
Its foundation.
Frightening.
12 to 22. Total 34 kills in 15 minutes. You know, I expected this pace, but it is exceeding my expectations now at this point. Like, game one was like, okay, yeah, maybe that's what we expect. This is getting a little too real here. And it's kind of what we were talking about with we having a rough start to the game, is he just cannot get back into it, right?
They're not giving any space on OG. Well,
Yeah.
This is the brief moment. This is literally the first time in 15 minutes where there's any space, but there are TPs coming down to the bot lane.
No Tail, is he actually going to be able to death? But so many heroes cutting in fast, and Weehaw, he needs Timber Chain out before through. No Boundless Strike. Sox is still in the hunt, though. Chase him down, Timber Chain, and EP out because they know OG has an awful lot of chase. Miracle, meanwhile, okay, they spotted him. Can they do anything about that, though? Miracle slides away, so instead they're going for RMN, who also TP's out. Really nice, clean escape there from Nigma after getting that kill on the Treant Protect.
First fresh air that OG is allowing Nigma to have in this game.
Yeah.
They have not been playing the side lanes at all. They have not hit a single And the reason that happened is because they split up to get bounties. Like, there are these objectives you need to take on the map. I mean, Thompson, he's the only one that still has his foot on the gas. He's playing in the enemy triangle by himself, which is, you know, typical
And
Thompson
it's double
play.
warded too.
Now-
Like Nigma are like, oh,
They
he is
see
constantly
him.
invading this. They
Yes.
double ward their own triangle
Oh,
just to try
man.
and put a stop to this.
That's so funny, and he's still there. Thompson doesn't give a fuck, man. This
Damn,
guy.
It's gonna be the first time we get a breather, Jenkins.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, No Tail's so close. He's right next to Mind Control, who's a little bit deeper here.
Somebody's in the trees there.
So
Who's that up there?
we've got a Scotty being built by the Monkey King. That's Mind Control up there.
Oh, he's chilling.
Yeah, he's chilling on the Magnus. The
This would be
have you thought about this Aghanim Scepter anymore in the Monkey King?
I don't know what to make of this.
Yeah.
You mentioned Scott. It seems like he could potentially be going for this. Mark great against the Timber Saw, obviously.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even think you need to deal with the Timber, though. Like, the Timber's, his game is just nullified. I don't think he's ever going to come back. This
Yeah,
hero doesn't
completely.
play from behind. But no farming item, nothing. Like, it's just straight Aghanims. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, this is OG. Like, you look at the things they're doing, like, this is nuts. And then they're just stomping Nigma. Okay, well, this is nuts, but the right thing to do. I need to figure out why they're thinking maybe he'd go like if you're gonna go Ags, like Maelstrom into Ags or something like that, but he looks like he's just going full on like greed, tanky stats. Like, if he feels like he
Yeah.
can survive, I suppose it's a little similar to like the Faceless Void that people are playing right now.
Sure.
Where instead of playing like this damage dealer in the Chrono, the build was like the Heaven's Halberd into Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah.
Where you're basically just playing to stay on top of people and take these long fights, kind of like you're almost like a Necrophos, where you want to take these long engagements and drag them out, bristleback.
Sure.
Similar, except for these like old traditional carries. And then
And that is interesting, specifically against Slark, you know, which I feel like is not against this lineup, but obviously more oriented towards the pace of the game and maybe the rest of the Nigma heroes.
Sure. I mean, if you stay on top of a Slark, he doesn't want to take long fights. I guess that's one thing. You
Okay.
play right around these Nigma heroes. They don't want to take long fights. I mean, particularly because of the Magnus, I would say. Like, this hero is one and done. I think a lot of the Nigma team really relies on mind control, pressing the right spells.
Yeah.
Just like we saw No Tail last game, winning the fights with the skewers and you know, great RPs. I think you need that to come from Nigma, because what other